The Fetha Nagast, the Law of the Kings, is a collection of laws that has been in use in Christian Ethiopia for many centuries. It was originally written in Arabic by the Coptic Egyptian writer bin al-Asar at the time when Cyril III was Patriarch of Alexandria, 1235 to 1243 AD. Bin al-Asar divided his work into two distinct parts. The first dealt with religious matters, and the second with secular matters. In compiling the first part, he relied largely on the Old and New Testaments, the canons of such early councils as the Council of Nicaea and the Council of Antioch, and the writings of a number of church fathers. These sources were also consulted in compiling the second, secular part, but in this latter effort, bin al-Asar relied most heavily on a collection of laws found in 4 books known as the Canon of the Kings. The Arabic version of the Fetha Nagast was originally titled Collection of Canons, but is commonly known by scholars as the Nomo-Canon of bin al-Asar. It was compiled as a guide for the Christian Copts living among the Muslim people of Egypt. The Coptic Church of Egypt used it and regarded it as a very authoritative work. However, it is not possible to say at this time exactly when the Nomo-Canon of bin al-Asar was introduced into Ethiopia. Ethiopian tradition holds that the Fetha Nagast was introduced into Ethiopia during the reign of Zara Yacob, 1434 to 1468. The story relates that one day a certain Petros Abda Said, an Egyptian by origin, found the emperor in a sad mood. When Petros asked the emperor what the cause of his sadness was, the emperor replied that he was displeased that justice in his empire was still administered on the basis of the Old Testament, although he and his people lived in the era of the New Testament. Then Petros informed the emperor that there was a book of laws which had been compiled by the 318 fathers of the Council of Nicaea and was then promulgated as law by the Emperor Constantine. The book, Petros said, had been translated into Arabic and could be found in Alexandria. Why not send somebody to fetch a copy of it? Zara Yacob responded, "You know the language of this country and that country. Go and bring me the book." And Zara Yacob gave Petros 30 pieces of gold. Petros brought the book and translated it into Ge'ez, the ancient language of Ethiopia. Throughout its history in Ethiopia, the Fetha Nagast has been intimately connected with the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which still observes many of its provisions, such as those dealing with the liturgy and fasting. It was in the monasteries and schools annexed to important churches that the Fetha Nagast was conserved and available for consultation. It was by the people of the church, learned in ecclesiastical sciences, that the Fetha Nagast was taught. Great importance has been attached to the study of the Fetha Nagast ever since its introduction into Ethiopia, and the names of its most distinguished scholars are still well remembered. This study belongs to the branch of learning known as the study of the works of the saintly doctors of the Fathers of the Church. Its importance is such, however, that it has always been considered a special field of study, as a subject which required specialization. As it has been noted, those who were versed in the study of the Fetha Nagast were awarded the rank of Liki, a title which meant one who excelled others in learning, one versed in the studies of the law. In conclusion, one may say that the Fetha Nagast has had a great influence on Ethiopia, not only as a source of learning or legal science, but also as a functioning law. A work such as the Fetha Nagast, pervaded with biblical and Christian principles, together with juridical principles, could not fail to influence a people that boast such a long biblical and Christian tradition and an innate sense of law. The tendency to blend secular matters with religious, a tendency common in the Fetha Nagast, and particularly to be found in its penal sections, has contributed to a conception of law as something intrinsically sacred in character. Thus, the Fetha Nagast has gifted Ethiopia with a unique spirituality and a sublime rule of law. This is the Leap of Faith.